This time, when we fight Thanos, we're pulling out all the stops. We're going to be at full strength, alright? Hawkeye's going to be there. Yeah, because if he was there the first time, then Thanos would have just started laughing, and in that moment of distraction, we would have gotten the upper hand.
John, I tell you, what do kids like?
Snacks.
No, you idiot. Kids like listening to other kids poorly sing the songs that they like.
I've never met a single child that would say that.
Well, you're just not hanging out with enough kids. Anyway, so let's call it Kidz Bop and then go walk into the ocean.
Hey, what's a good threat or insult? I hope the Statue of Liberty comes to life and throws a building at your house. Is that something... Did you already think of that before? Is that something you... It sounded like you thought of that, and then I asked, and you were like, I've already got this one for you, specifically. Is that what's going on? I've got others, if that one's too weird.
My favorite kind of customer is the one that assumes that while you're also a customer service representative, your main job is coming up with rules for the entire company. Excuse me, why did you tell my son to stop doing what he was doing? Oh, well, you see, we have a rule, and he's not allowed to eat the legs of chairs, so... But why is that? Why is he not allowed to? That's a, You know, honestly, I didn't think this would go this far. I thought that you would come upon the scene of your child working his way through the second leg of a chair and then assume that I was in the right for telling him to stop. But I can see that you're both insane. I've got an idea for a new mythological entity. Shoot, go ahead. Okay, now buckle in, alright? He's called the Sandman. Is he like the Lord of Deserts or something? Good guess. He has the power to throw a handful of sand into someone's face and knock them unconscious. Is it magical sand? Presumably, yeah, I imagine so. I mean, I've never been hit in the face with sand, but it's never knocked me out. So I assume that his sand has some kind of special property that knocks you out. Like melatonin or something? It could be melatonin if you think about it.
In Harry Potter, when Harry, in the last movie, goes to the train station with his kids and then puts his hand on one of the kids' shoulders and goes like, Albus Severus Potter. And I was like, oh, well, so he named his kids after people who were influential in his life. And then it started making me laugh because of the idea of him naming one of them Dobby. Dobby, you come back here right now. Not until you legally change my name. I named you after the bravest elf I ever knew. The bravest elf you ever knew had a stupid name. You could have named me shit and it would have been a better name.
Okay, so as new team leader, anyone who does not have a superpower, but instead some sort of stupid gimmick, will be given an Iron Man suit. That's kind of stupid. Hey Falcon, I'm glad that you knew I was talking about you, even though I didn't say your name. Kind of says a lot, doesn't it? Okay, first of all, it's not a stupid gimmick, alright? I have wings, and I can fly. So can geese. I don't see any geese at this table. Other than you, maybe. I don't know if you're a goose. Alright, that's really rude, and I think I'm gonna walk away now. You can fly away. You've mentioned that you can do that. That's really funny, man. See you, man. He's gotta go anyway, probably. He's probably just looking for the opportunity to leave because he's gotta fly south.
Have you ever, like, introduced a friend of yours to a new piece of information or, like, a phrase they haven't heard before, and then later on you hear them use that, like, bring it up in a different conversation, and they don't mention that you were the one who told them, and you, for some reason, are slightly bothered by that? Like, I feel like I've been plagiarized, but it's not, like, a quote that's attributed to me. It's just, like, the day on which Pearl Harbor happened, and them bringing it up is enough to make me feel like... they are plagiarizing me. I'm the god of knowledge, and they are merely my pupil. Why do you feel like you have a monopoly on little factoids that you happen to know and other people that you introduce to it don't know? You clearly didn't hear me when I said I was the god of knowledge. I want to know how long it took Hawkeye to make the decision about his hair and tattoos, you know, after his family's dead. And in the movie it says, oh, it's been 5 years. This is 5 years later. So we're sort of led to believe, oh, these are changes that he's made over those years. But I'm desperately hoping that it was like 40 seconds after the ashes have fallen in his farm. And he's like, All right, what's the number for that hair salon?
Like he goes and breaks open his in case of my family being disintegrated kit, and inside is like a sword and like stencils for a tattoo he's been thinking about getting for a while, but his wife wouldn't let him get. The only way he was able to get her to agree was like to create some crazy circumstance that she was very sure would never happen. Like, honey, if you and the kids are ever disintegrated by Thanos, would I be allowed to get that tattoo?
You know those videos where the owner of a dog is like presenting two hands and then the dog has to pick one and then the dog picks a hand and then is presented with one treat and then the owner opens the other hand and there's like 95 treats and the dog's just like, well, you know, that's on me. I'm not going to eat those treats because I don't deserve it. I have never met a single dog that would not immediately eat part of that person's hand and every one of those treats. Where do they get these, like, English, well-prepared dogs? Dogs will run at 95 miles an hour into a plate glass door, but they are smart enough to understand the rules of gambling. They understand fairness in games. Where do they get these dogs? You know what? I lost, and that's on me. I'm gonna go eat my own ass.
One of the funny things about Harry Potter, among everything about it, is that you remember the one where they have the Griffin, and then the Griffin like scratches Malfoy, and then they have it executed. And that's funny in itself, but also they have like a fucking whole executioner. Like he's got an axe and a black hood. Why does Hogwarts employ an executioner? Headmaster, should we use money to, redesign the staircases so they send people where they want to go instead of any random direction that decides to? Or, perhaps remove the dungeons full of puzzles, death traps, and monsters? Should we do that? No, you fool! We must hire an executioner because we have so very many people that need to die.
So, Peter, I have like a couple of questions for you. Yeah, what's up? What do you do outside of being a photographer? I work on my computer a lot. I'm into electronics, stuff like that. Are you like a bodybuilder or a gymnast? No. I just sort of do nerd stuff, Why are you so jacked then? I'm not. What? Okay, well, you look like you're carved out of marble. Is that just a result of you tinkering with electronics? I'm very aggressive when I solder. I believe you. But, so the thing is, there's no way you could look like that unless you were a gymnast or a weightlifter. Spider-Man. I was going to say Spider-Man. You're a fucking liar.
If you are genuinely upset when people forget what your name is, you're such an idiot and I hate you so much. They didn't forget that you exist. They forgot the word, the stupid, dumb, small, tiny word that is associated with you. That's it. That's the extent of it. I haven't seen or heard a name that I couldn't see myself forgetting. My name, for example, Patrick, is garbage. I hate my name. It's the dorkiest, dumbest, stupid name in the history of the universe. I sound like a leprechaun.
I'm so sorry. What is your name again?
It's Patrick. I'm gonna stab you in the throat. It's mostly based on convenience. The only reason that we have names. If I yell across a room, hello, person, then everybody's gonna turn around. But if I say Patrick, then, hey, maybe the guy who's named Patrick is gonna turn around. It has nothing to do with your individuality. It's mostly just convenience. Why do you care? Why do you care?
Raccoons are thieves. They're born thieves, and I love them so fucking much. I've been over this a lot, but they got little fucking people hands. They got little people thingies, and I love it. I love it so much. And they also got little fucking thief masks and like prison stripes, and they're practically born with a burlap sack thrown over the shoulder with a $sign on it. I wouldn't be surprised if they know how to pick locks. I was rewatching Ocean's 11. That is not George Clooney. That is like 6 or 7 raccoons, clumped together in a tailored suit.
I know that people get really mad when someone says, am I the only one who? Because, there's 7 billion people. Of course you're not the only one who. But I feel like I'm the only stupid idiot in the world who doesn't know the names of highways or interstates or fucking anything that I've lived near for the last 2 decades, and when people say, hey, did you take fucking $4.95 to get here? I have no idea. I punched an address into my GPS, and I just fucking let Jesus take the wheel, and somehow I ended up here without dying. And I think that's what we should be applauding right now. I'm really enjoying all of the messages asking why I decided to join the Marines, and what disease do you have that made you shave your head? I'm not in the military, and I don't have anything like that. I just shaved my head because it's hot outside, and I was tired of having long hair. But I'm glad you guys are treating it like I'm going to die tomorrow. And for those of you, all of you, who decided that they don't like this change, well, too bad. I'm allowed to be an egg if I want. And I know that people shaving their heads is a sign of them fucking losing their minds, but that ship kind of sailed years ago, so that's not even a worry. If we're having a conversation and I say, man, I fucking hate that guy, and you take it to me, you're like one of those people that goes just like, whoa, hate is a really strong word, buddy. Don't say that. What? You know I didn't say that and mean it like I want to stab them and their children. It just means like I'm fucking sick of him. I hate this guy. You know what I mean? What? Where's the miscommunication? I feel like it's mostly just people want to sound like holier than thou and like self-righteous. Like, I would never say something so heinous as hate. I don't hold hate in my heart because I'm a pure joy. Shut up. Fuck you. I hate you now.
You know that song about fucking fireflies and dancing by Owl City? What he says in that song, and then 10 million fireflies suddenly appeared as I was sleeping or some shit like that. Couple things. How are you able to surmise that there are 10 million exactly? Is this a guess? You say it with a lot of confidence for a guess. Anyway, another thing. How are you able to then doze off as you've discovered 10 million insects approaching you? You are really comfortable with bugs, and you're also the best counter of minuscule objects in the universe. You might be a computer man. Are you a Terminator?
Many things in this world vex me. One of them is people who wear beanies on their head during the summer. That makes it sound like I don't have a problem with people wearing beanies on other parts of their body, but I really, going down the line, don't wear them at all during the summer. How about that? It's a winter piece of clothing, and you have chosen to break it out onto the scene, pulling it out of its special box that I'm sure that you keep it in next to your rack of Thrasher t-shirts, and you're showing it off to the world, and you're miserable because it's 99 degrees outside, and you're cooking your brain, and all 3 brain cells that you have left are like, man, I could go without doing this forever. And you're like, shut up, brain cells. I'll deal with you later. For now, let's ride. But you don't have a skateboard. So you just sort of sit there and you're miserable. And to be honest, you make me miserable. It's an area of effect attack that just splashes all the people around it. I'm seeing you be uncomfortable and I'm like, ugh. And I just have like a -1 over my head, like a video game. All these fucking nerds think that the Batman is invincible because he's got all these strategies for every situation. And his tactical mind is unmatched in its versatility when faced with everything. So I have devised my own strategy to kill the Dark Knight, and it is as follows. Hit him with a truck. You can add your own variables to my ingenious plan, but for now, let's keep it simple and say you're driving a Bronco. Let's make it a shitty Bronco from like 1999. It's missing its front fender, but it's also a truck, and he's just a man.
You are simply forgetting the number of gadgets and gizmos he has on his person at all times, including an entire bat suit that is indestructible.
I'm going to hit him with a truck, and he's going to die. And then the headline in the newspaper is going to be Bruce Wayne and Batman, for some reason, died at the same time. It's probably